Okay folks, thanks very much for joining us. Today I'm going to be tying up a Gaula green park shrimp. So it's a very modern version, well, a modern version of a modern fly. So it's a fly that I've only heard of the last few months, this green variant. But seems to be doing very popular, especially in springtime. But I can see it being deadly for very fresh fish as well later on in the year. So I've just added on my thread, and for my tag and my rib I'm going to be using gold oval. This is basically just small gold on a size 12 patriot. And just bring your thread right down to close to the hook points, and then you start winding on a few turns of your gold oval. It'll create a tag. Bring it through the bottom, and then what I do is I just continue to tie the gold oval up towards the top. And don't be cutting it off, because all you need to do now is bend it back again, and that's your tag for later on. And that works well for these long-tailed shrimps, saves you a bit of time. Okay, so for the tail of the fly I'm going to be using Arctic runner. So I've got orange and I've got yellow, and it's in 3 layers. So the first layer, I'll just take off a piece of runner here. The first layer will keep the underfur on, but we'll remove the longer guard hairs, and this is just a support layer. And the length you want for this is generally a wee bit longer than the hook shank or the hook itself. It's entirely up to yourself. As this is going to be quite a small fly, I don't want to overdo it. Just attach that on. And as you see, I'm tying on at the middle of the fly, not at the tag, because I don't want to build up that thickness of the tag. Okay, so then first bit of flesh. So again, because it's a small fly, I'm not going to overdo it. So I'm just going to do 3 strands of gold crystal flesh. Again, I'm going to put these on but work up the body again, work up the shank. So the thickness of all that bulk will be in the middle, and it won't be impacting the tail, which could cause wraps. Okay, and then I've just cut those to the length, or a wee bit longer than that first layer. So the second layer is going to be your yellow Arctic runner. Okay, so, and this is a little bit thinner than the previous layer. At this stage you do take out the underfur, and you can twist the tips as well, just to see if you get a nice tapered length to it. And then you put this on, and this is roughly about 1.5 to 2 times the length of the first layer. Okay, just a few turns to secure that in, and then what I like to do with my park shrimps is always add on a few extra long guard hairs. So just get these at the top of the cape, or the patch, sorry. And it acts like feelers basically for a shrimp fly, the way I would see it anyway. And it's only a few, it won't impact tail wraps or anything like that there, because you have everything supporting it. Okay. Okay, and then the next layer, before I do the next layer even, I'm going to put on a few strands of craft fibres, basically Angelina fibres. Same as the angel hair, but much cheaper. And again, I haven't done too much, there's probably about 4 or 5 strands in that there. And that's going to be the length of the full tail. Okay, and then we'll go back to our orange again. At this stage, only put in a small amount, nothing compared to the first layer. So for this one, we remove the fur and the underfur. Also remove the longer guard hairs too. This is just 2 oranges pinched the yellow to keep them supported while they're fishing. Okay, and then now that we have the whole tail, I'll just show you that profile. You can see that. Now that we have the whole tail, we can bring it right down to the tag, and the tag will kick that up ever so slightly. Okay. Then we can neaten up and cut this at an angle if you like. Okay, so we'll just neaten up the body a little bit here. Okay, so for the body for this, I'm going to be using this Gaula green, which is basically, it seems like green fur with green angel hair mixed in, something similar to that anyway. So I'll give it a go. Don't know how it'll dub on. Right, probably mix it a wee bit better than how it came out of the packet there. Okay, and I'm putting no tag on this. Normally I would put, or no butt. Normally a park shrimp we would have a gold butt made out of gold ice stub or something, but not this time. This is just a full green body. Okay, so that's dubbing on nicely there. I'm just twisting every time I go up. Okay, and because it's a park shrimp, make sure you leave plenty of space for the head, because you've got 2 hackles, a wing, and a jungle cock. The add in. Okay. And then we follow it up with our rib. Now, the rib is underneath at the moment, but what I want to do is want to lift up the tail and slip that rib underneath for the first wrap. And that will ensure that that tail kicks up well, prevents tail wrapping when fishing. Okay. So 4 or 5 turns down the body with your rib. Okay, and if you want, you can draw out a wee bit of dubbing. I'm going to draw out a wee bit of dubbing underneath, but not much. It's quite loose anyway. Okay. Cut off your excess. And then just pull everything back. Try and get as little hairs as possible going forward, just to give you a neater head. Okay, so for the wing, we're going to be using, this is fox dyed black, and this is pelt. It's nice and soft. So just take off a patch of that there, and I remove the underfur, reduce the bulk. It's all about movement for the park shrimp. Okay, and again, I remove the guard hairs. If you're fishing a bigger fly, you might want to keep a few on, but for this size, I'm going to just remove them all. And then I'm going to attach this on, hopefully do about the bend of the hook towards the rear, so it's just touching into the orange of the tail. And just use a pinch and loop method and a couple of turns to secure it in. Okay. Now, if you've seen my videos before, I almost always use super glue whenever I'm doing the wing. This time I don't have any super glue. I've got some more, but it's taking a bit of time. So what I'm going to use is a wee bit of varnish. I'm just going to put that on a little bit of thread. And I'll give the same hold. Just a wee bit. Not as easy to work with super glue, but it'll, once that dries, it'll be a very secure hold. Okay. I'll just wax my thread before we put on our jungle cock. Okay, so I've got 2 jungle cock eyes here, one for each side. So I'm just going to put these on. And again, the varnish is a wee bit wet there, so they'll be secured into that there. Just bring those up to the wing. Okay, so I'm happy on this side. Just a wee slight adjustment on your side. Okay. Cut off the excess. Okay, and then a few more wraps on top with a wax thread will make it very secure. Okay, so next thing we need to do is add on our hackles. So first hackle is a yellow cock hackle, and this goes quite far back, so different to the cascade. You want this an oversized hackle. So you've seen this before. I break off my hackles, hackle tips, and expose a few fibres and tie in, and then bring those fibres back. I'll give me a very secure hold. Okay. Then use your scissors and just train those fibres downwards. And as you wind, just pull them round just to make sure that they're well doubled. Okay, I'm actually only going to do 2 turns of this. I want this quite light, so that's my first turn done. Then a second. Okay. One or two fibres going forward, just pull them back. Okay, now, to be honest with you, if I wasn't videoing this, I'd probably stop at that because I think that's a lovely looking fly. But I said it'll be a park shrimp, so I'll have to keep on going. But we'll have to tie that another time. So, the front hackle for a park is going to be your hot orange badger. And this isn't actually the genetic badger that I normally use. This is just an Indian Cape, and it's a lot stiffer, which I think will be a lot better for working the fly, and it means that the feathers and the barbs will pulse better. Okay, so again, just as I've done with the yellow, just tie it in at the tip and double the back. Just training those fibres, point inwards. Okay, I'm just going to do 1 wrap, and then I'm going to remove what I think will be the excess after 2 wraps for a neater finish. Oh, start again, wraps unraveling a bit. That's 1 wrap. And 2 wraps. Okay. And then, because I have the space, I'm going to just double that hackle back and tie it in that way. Give a very secure hold. And that means I can pull it off. Don't even need to cut it. Okay, so last thing I want to do is just a wee quick whip finish there. Just a couple of wraps, because I'm going to change. You can change to whatever colour you want, but I'm going to pick Glow Bright Orange Yellow, or Glow Bright Orange number 5. I'll put that in the bobbin, then just tie that on over your white, which will show up really well. Okay, then we'll just whip finish that off. At the same time, that's still putting on more Glow Bright. And there you have it, folks, your Gaula green park shrimp. As I said, I'll be giving this a go, probably in the tidal beach of the River Moy this year. Green seems to be a good colour for mint fresh fish, and as you all know, I'm a big fan of the park shrimp, so I like the look of that. And I will try and tie that wee variant without the orange hackle at the front too, which look really good. As always, if you found this useful, folks, hit that like button below. If you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. All the best.